But when my mom delivered, I was so devastated. Yeah, it's one thing for you to have an idea. It's another thing for you to also have people, that you're surrounded with people, quality people that will help you to carry out those ideas, own the vision alongside you, and bring it to continue to grow. I believe that strategic relationship is not just about what I can get. Yeah. And that's why it's strategic. It's about also giving. Because the good book says that it's more blessed to give than to receive. So the more you give, the more you actually draw people to you, because they know that, oh, there's a value that this person is giving. I think strategic relationship is first of all about you wanting to give value to others. And that means you constantly developing yourself, trying to see how you can grow and be an asset anywhere you are.
I'd like to move into knowledge and skills, because I believe that is quite a key aspect in your life, as well as you're on your journey to, let's just not just say journey to wealth now, let's say the journey to true wealth, because true wealth consists of all these things. How would you say knowledge and skills has played a role in your life? And I'd like to be a bit more specific there, actually, because when I speak of knowledge, it's not just academic knowledge that can be gotten in a school, but the knowledge that you even had outside of your school or your education. What other education did you gain outside of that school setting, and how has that helped you?
School is great, but we learn from everywhere. Apart from the fact that I have a degree in computer science, in fact, I have HND in computer science, right? And when I left school, there's a big difference. So that big difference somewhat makes you look like you are disadvantaged as an HND holder. So because when you're looking for a job, a BSc holder will first of all be prioritized over an HND holder at that time. I think things are beginning to change now.
Yeah.
But that wasn't a deterrent for me. It was a concern, but not a deterrent. A concern that drove me to say, look, I'm going to make the best of what I have.
Yes.
So I kept on doing a lot of certifications, reading widely, and making sure that I also, in humility, connect with people within the industry. For example, even before I left school, I met my husband because of my desire to learn. Where I was doing what we call internship at that time, what it used to be called industrial attachment, but we call it internship now. He was seconded to the company to help fix the PC, the workstation that I was using there. And when he came, I saw how knowledgeable that he was. Then in my mind, I said, I want to know what this guy knows. So after he finished working on the workstation, I went to him. I said, please, sir, I would like to learn from you. I want to learn all these things that you know, because it looks to me like he knows so much. Then that was how I developed a relationship with him at that time, because he used to give me materials that I will read, and he will ask me questions about it. If I don't know it, the way he will, behave towards me, like you are not serious, all those things. But I didn't take it like he was harsh. Yeah. I knew that this is my pathway to learning. And that was how the relationship started. But of course, today is history. We are married, right? But that was what led me to knowing him. And that has been my life. If I see you, I know that you know something that I need. I don't care who you are. I'll come to you unless I know that I can't reach you directly. Then I can also watch you from afar and try to see how you're doing stuff. Then I also learn. I have mentors that don't even know I exist, but I learn from them from afar, right? So knowledge is really crucial. And not only relying on all the knowledge from school alone is really important. And knowledge is not also limited to technical skills. If I see someone sit down, communicate the way they talk, I watch them. I want to see, oh, this person is a leader. This is the way she talks. I want to go learn how to, talk like that. I want to go learn how to, posture myself. It's really important to continue to learn. And I will say that that's one of the reasons that has helped me in my career journey, because I don't only rely on technical knowledge. I try to read wide. I read books on different things. So it's really important to keep on getting knowledge. And for me, I also started in technology where I think when I really went into core technical engagements was then mostly on-premise. But we have company that I work for had really transitioned great deal. We've moved from on-premise to cloud. Now we're talking about AI. So I kept on learning new things. It's really important to keep on acquiring knowledge and really build oneself in different aspects that contribute to the holistic person that you want to become. As I said earlier on, I observe leaders a lot. I take my time to look at them, what makes them strong. And then I don't wait for things to drop on my lap. For example, I was an individual contributor when I put up my hand that I would like to create a community within Microsoft several years ago. Then I was in a role called account technology strategist as an individual contributor role. And I put up my hand to say, I want to help to create a community where all the account technology strategists across West Central Africa, which is the region that Nigeria belonged to at that time, are together. And that platform gave me opportunity to provide leadership without a title. I was able to bring my colleagues together. We'll share ideas, we'll share best practices from different countries, from different customers. I didn't have any leadership title at that time, but that gave me an opportunity to lead. If I see any opportunity within the company, whether they say, oh, there's a training that is coming up, for example, during COVID, that we launched a training initiative. I spoke to one of my colleagues, why don't we just come together and try to do something within our community to get more people to be aware of this training? I mean, I wasn't told to do that, but I just took that initiative on my own to do that. And all those things build up because it gives me opportunity to learn how to bring people together, how to manage people, and how to also influence people without having a title. So that, when I go for an interview, they say you don't have, maybe I'm going for an interview where they're talking about, oh, you don't have experience leading people in this particular structure. Even though I have other experiences of leading people, I can give such examples, right? So I'm not just going there hoping and wishing that because I talk, they are going to take me for it. So all those things are really important. And also, I also identify trainings for leaders that I consume on my own. So it also gives me the insights on how to respond to situation as a leader, and not just the current status that I am. I always want to operate at a level higher than where I am. So that gives me opportunity to position myself for bigger opportunity. So that when it comes, when you go to a higher level, you will always have to learn something new. It's really important. But what it helps me to do is to help to reduce the learning curve so that I don't make so many mistakes. Yes, we'll make mistakes, it's part of learning. What is important is to learn when you make mistakes, learn from it, but it reduces the number of mistakes, even when you're given the opportunity. Because people want to give opportunity, but they want to give opportunity to people that they know that won't fail.
Yeah, of course. That was a lot there. Whoa. But let me try and gather what's going on in my mind right now. The taking initiative, first of all. And then I'm also hearing there's a kind of, would I say, a heart or a mindset that desires knowledge consistently. Because I'm hearing you emphasize you can never graduate from learning. You are always learning. Even as the country manager, you're still learning. So I'm sure those that are listening understand now that you never get to a point where you stop learning. Even in the leadership role that you are, which some people are aiming for, like, I want to be Olatomiwa Williams. It doesn't mean that once you get there, you stop learning. You don't fossilize. You have to keep growing, because, as you mentioned, the world is evolving. You called it industrial, what was the word you used now? That you were doing, that was like internship, the name has changed and all these things are changing. The world keeps evolving. AI is something now. In 5 years, it might be something else that we're talking about, definitely. So you keep growing, keep evolving. You're taking so many trainings, learning so many things online. The information is there. You just have to have the desire, the minds, the heart to go after it, which I think is so important, because especially in this day and age where we want to get to that place quickly, and then once we get there, it's like I've made it and I can just stop. But that's not it at all. You have to keep moving, you have to keep progressing, which is really key. And I'd like to I guess we kind of went into it a bit on your experiences in your life. I believe you are a woman that is full of experience, and you've told a couple of different stories on your life, showing how you've gained experience, what you've learned from it, how you may have made some mistakes and you've gained from those things and all of that. How would you say your experience has played a role in why you were chosen to be the country manager, managing director for Microsoft Nigeria and Ghana?
That's an interesting question. Experience of life differs in different ways. There's a lot of diversity in that. But if I take work experience, I think for me, I've been in technology my entire career, right from when I left school. And I'm privileged to have been able to have experiences. I think I started my journey, first of all, from selling, PCs in a time where people do a lot of assembly of PC, especially in Nigeria. Then it's cheaper. So selling a brand new PC at that time is really, really difficult. So that experience taught me to be super resilient, to know the value of what I'm selling, because people will always have alternatives. So it's really important that I understand and I am convinced of the value of what I'm selling, because people can feel whether you are also convinced about what you want them to get or not, and how it also helped their business. Because at the end of the day, it's about helping their business. But then I had that, but I wanted to get my hands dirty, really do a lot of things on what I learned, because I really wanted to be a geek at that time. Then that led me to doing all the stuff where I had opportunity of working on a number of major projects. Some projects with some of the major banks in Nigeria, then, migrating them to exchange server at that point in time, not only in Nigeria, but also in Suriname and other part of Africa. So that gave me a lot of technical depth. And coupled with the fact that I was all consistently writing certifications, doing a lot of things, learning so many things, and transitioning into also channel management. And that's one of the beauty of working in an organization that gives you opportunity to do different things. So I wasn't just doing only one thing. Being able to work as a channel sales leader within Microsoft, covering Africa and part of Middle East, and did a number of other roles. So that had really, really grounded me and prepared me for this role. And apart from that, we did mention earlier on about having depth of knowledge, because leadership is not just about your technical capabilities. It's also about, being able to lead people with integrity. I've grown up in an environment where integrity is really important, because I know that for everything that I'm doing, I'm accountable to God. It's not just about what I do in my house, what I do at work, and how I relate with people, how I treat people. I'm accountable to God, and God will hold me accountable for anything. So that also had shaped my leadership capabilities, my leadership skill and style. And that's what makes me to be having more inclined to a collaborative and inclusive approach of leadership. And I'll say that a number of things have also helped me in terms of life experiences. Sometimes what we call disadvantages are actually God's way of preparing us. I now call it differently privileged background because if you're looking at it that, I come from a, not so privileged background, but now I see it as a privilege, because those things that I thought I lack as a child made me to be creative, make me to be, intuitive, make me to be able to think on my feet. If you don't have food to eat and you have to go and take cassava in one day and turn it into garri, meaning that you have to go and look for, I've been in a situation where we had to go and look for Milo tin, use nail to poke hole into it, to grate cassava, to turn it to garri and turn it around in one day. That's creativity in a way. And a lot of those experiences made me sometimes to really improvise quickly when things try to go wrong. So what we term as, is a difficult situation, God is wise. At that time, it might not look palatable, but if we engage it, knowing that everything works together for good for those that love God, then it's possible to be able to take the values, the principles, and the strength of character that you need for your future in such situations. So I think, life experience is not limited to your field of life, is also your background, all the things you've experienced in life, and how that has shaped you to being the person you are today.
Wow. That's beautiful. I love that. Differently privileged background. That's a perfect way of just terming the whole thing, because even though to another person outside that experience, they would say, that's not so great, let me help you, let me do this. But to you, you saw how that has developed certain skills that are helping you today.
I'll be frank, I think it's a privilege of hindsight now. Even though when we were going through it at that time, honestly, maybe because of the environment that we didn't see it as a bad situation. Because you could still find food to eat. At least there's cassava. You have cassava in your farm. You can turn it to food, even though, maybe there might not be oil and chicken or things to make. But you can see water leaf in your background. You can pull cassava. You have tin milk to quickly make things. And you have a turnaround of gari in one day. And you have your water leaf soup to go with it. Man, you sing with joy and eat your gari but as you get more exposed, you now said, okay, there's other life, right? But now I see that was God's way of preparing me to be the woman that I am today. So in essence, experiences of life shape us. But it's possible to go through those experiences and not draw value, not draw strength and character from those experiences. That's a waste. Because if you don't draw value, character, strength from the experiences, then it's possible you remain the same. But if you do, you leverage all the great things you got from those experiences that seems to be a bad experience to help you to become stronger and better person. And that keeps building on. It's almost like a geometric progression because it keeps adding up and multiplying. And that's where the growth and the consistent growth continue to be of benefit to you, even though you have those not so great experiences.
So understand and take note of the process that you're going through. Otherwise, you may go through it and nothing happens to you, and it may repeat itself in the future, actually.
Yeah, so let me ask my question, since you went into that. Regarding the youths and the prevalent issue with the desire for quick wealth, you mentioned true wealth, you kept mentioning true wealth, which suggests that there might be concept of false wealth. And I'm assuming it's to get rich quick mentalities. And I just find it very interesting that I'm asking this question at this time where you're drilling on experiences of life. How can you address that get rich quick mindset among young people?
Okay, so it's possible to get rich quick, but it's not possible to have true wealth quickly, because true wealth gets you through a process. We've mentioned a number of ingredients: faith in God, strategic relationship, ideas, experiences of life, knowledge. All those take time, and it builds you, it grounds you. So, but if you look at a get-rich-quick approach, you don't need any process per se, or maybe you don't need so much process per se. But if you build your house on a sand versus if you build your house on a rock, what is constant in life? Rain will fall, wind will come. No one can stop that. And when I say rain will fall, I'm not talking about literal rain. Everyone in life will go through challenges. You'll go through certain difficulties. But if you have built a true wealth, you have a solid foundation. Even if things get shaky, you will, because your core is stronger than whatever is happening around you, you will remain steadfast. And number two, you also have strategic relationship around you, because two is better than one. When one fall, the other, help him to be stable. You have strategic relationship around you that will anchor you. You have faith in God, so there is hope. You keep on reinventing yourself by acquiring knowledge, even though those challenges are there, so that when the next wave of opportunity comes, you're ready. That is someone that has true wealth. Versus someone that gets rich quickly, that does not have most of these things. They might have some, maybe not all. That person will get crumbled easily. And that's why it's really important. And I'm really, really advocating that everyone pursue true wealth and not get rich quick. For our youth, it's always easy to see people up there, maybe living your dream life. What is important is they were at one point or the other in your level, where they are also hoping that one day I'm going to have this kind of life. The difference is they worked hard. Mostly, I know that there's some people today that you can see them affluent, rich, and all of that didn't go through the process. But when you look at people that have enduring wealth, that have true wealth, they did not start from having wealth in one day. It's a journey, it's a process. It takes a lot, sometimes tears, blood, sweat to get to where they are. But guess what? Once it's solid, right, nothing can shake it off. It will always be sustained, even though challenges come. And that's the major difference. So if you're looking for something that is sustainable, that can endure the test of time, please go through processes. But if you are up for, I just want something quick, it doesn't matter if it doesn't endure any tests, if it crumbles anytime, then maybe you might take the path of riches. But I strongly advocate and employ our youth to take the path of true wealth. Go through the process, get mentored, learn, grow, keep on building and keep on growing. And you will one day be an inspiration to the next generation. But if you don't think it's important to leave a legacy, then maybe the pathway of get rich quick is for you. But how do you hand over a get rich quick estate or whatever to your children? What values are you going to teach them that will help them to sustain whatever riches that you have built? How do you also inspire the next generation? What stories are you going to share with them on how you've come about your wealth? That is really, really a food for thought. So if you look at all those things, considerations, it is more honorable, it is more enduring, it's more fulfilling to walk through the path of getting processed to have true wealth that endures generations.
Yes, and you're just diving into another ingredient, which is a good name. A good name is what you can transfer to your generation. Now, someone who is following this get rich quick scheme, money quick, and all of that, like you mentioned, there's nothing to pass down. There's no good name to pass. Because what we're realizing here is true wealth is something that is internal. It's character, it's values, it's something that is inside of you that even if all that you have is taken away, you're still wealthy because it's who you are, not what you have. Now, someone who is on this path of I want to get rich quickly, this is literally about what they have. They have the riches, they have the thing. And once that's taken, they crumble, like you mentioned. So we're really talking about building something that is internal. That's the journey. That's why this is Journey to Wealth. This is a journey. This is a process. This is a path of conscious and deliberate decisions that we're taking here. So I think it's beautiful and wonderful that you highlighted that, because it's something that really needs to be mentioned to, I'd say, my generation as well as those that are coming behind me, because we see so many things. Social media is here and it's so many pictures are flying through our heads. We're seeing people with nice cars. They're dressed this way. Oh, I just got this. I just got that. All these things are there, all aimed at the thing. Nothing is inside. And what we've discussed here today is basically how your inside has been built and is continuing to be built as you're on this journey to wealth. And I'd like to end on this, another last ingredient, which is health. You are someone that is traveling. You're doing so many things. You are extremely busy, I would say, with all the things that you're managing. How have you been able to manage your health despite the ups and downs and all the things that you're involved in?
One of my mentors told me that if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of business. So that's what keeps resonating in my mind. And when we look at it critically, health is wealth is one of the sayings that everybody says. So it's really important that I take care of my health. Watch what I eat. I mean, I can't be eating what I was eating when I was 20 at this age. It just doesn't work. So I eliminate things from my diet that I know that don't go well with me anymore. And also, I prioritize my exercise. Before, I don't used to exercise as much. Sometimes I do exercise a little, then I forget about it. But these days, I take my exercise really, really seriously. And of course, hydrating, water. We underestimate the importance of drinking water. Water is really, really important. It's important to keep our body hydrated because that's also really important in helping to get things moving around our body. And sleep is really important to get adequate sleep. I know a lot of people say, if you want to make it in life, you don't sleep and all of that. It's for the weak. But man, I know one thing, it's only God that does not sleep nor slumber. There's a reason why God wants human beings to be sleeping. And I'm not talking about excessive sleep. Boys, get the sleep rhythm that works for you. Just make sure that you take enough rest. Because when we rest well, then our cognitive power is even stronger and we're able to have enough energy to carry on the day. I notice personally that if I don't have enough sleep, I forget things. So to make myself be active mentally, I need sufficient sleep that is required for me. And of course, also have people around you that also have their health interests so that you can share ideas, and make sure that you're consistently challenging yourself to take care of one's health is really, really important. And when we're talking about health, we're not talking only about physical health. Spiritual health is really important, and most of the time, people don't take cognizance of their spiritual health. This body is just a cage hosting our spirit, and also is important to take care of our mental health. A lot of people, let me talk about spiritual health first. Spiritual health is not something that just happens abstractly. It's anchored in strong relationship with God, and maintaining that relationship helps to keep our spirit. And people underrate God's guidance, especially in wealth creation, because a lot of things that we have today, sometimes you just see someone say, "Oh, Temi, I like you. I want to give you this opportunity." How do you get to meet that person? Maybe you're just walking on the street. You just said, "Oh, let me go and buy something." A lot of things that I have experienced personally is through God's leading, that God just say, "Oh, talk to that person," and it's because of the relationship with God and the spiritual health or spiritual alertness, ability to hear God and discern His mind, His intent is really, really important. It's important. In fact, it's one of the things that we need to take really seriously, because that's what guides every aspect of health of our life. And keeping our mind sane is important. So many people just consume every content that comes their way, or they just join every group that is available and they drop all sorts of things there. It's important. You have the responsibility of guiding your own heart with all diligence, because issues of life flows from our heart. So it's what is in our heart is in our mind that drives how we behave, what we do, and that could lead to different other things. So it's really important to also guard our heart. So watch what you consume in terms of what you read, what you watch, what you even listen to, and that will define the company that you keep, because you can't be in certain company and not be exposed to certain things. It's already in your mind. There is nothing you can do about it, and it could pop up one day. You just don't know. So it's really important that we create that atmosphere where we are able to guide our mind. So health is not just about physical being, it's about your spiritual health, your mental health, your and psychological being, because sometimes even some things that comes to our mind, I think one thing that I have also realized that a number of things that we worry about is over time it will sort out itself. So it's really important to also limit the amount of anxiety that we create by just worrying on things that are completely outside of our control. So yeah, it's really important. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. So we see that health is threefold, and we talked about that on this podcast as well. We have spiritual health, our mental health, and our physical health. And the thing is, the mental health and the spiritual health are actually what can affect our physical body.
True.
When you're not spiritually healthy, you can't hear God, as you mentioned, you're not alert, you're not discerning. That can affect your physical body. You can start to get sick. Same with mental health as well. So those things are important to manage, but your physical health is still there as well. As you mentioned, exercising, eating healthy, getting sleep. Sleep is not for the weak. Sleep is for every normal person. So making sure to rest, get your 8 hours of sleep, and all is really important. Thank you so much, Olatomiwa Williams, for being here with me today to discuss your journey to wealth, journey to true wealth. And it's been wonderful to hear your stories, your experience, how you've created value, how you've been able to bring ideas from a thought to reality, how you've learned from your experiences, the past as well as the present, how you're gaining knowledge, all these things that you're involving yourself in. It's been nice to gain all those lessons and learn a lot from you today.
Thank you for having me, Temi. Thank you for all that you do. We're all proud of you. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much. And thank you to each and every single one of you out there that is listening via our different platforms. We are so grateful and appreciative of you being in our community. And I'm sure that you've learned a lot and gained a couple of nuggets from what Olatomiwa Williams has shared. Again, she is the Managing Director of Microsoft Nigeria and Ghana, and she's also the founder of Uzemi, a Women in Technology Empowerment Initiative. And she has shared from more than 25 years of knowledge that she has in her industry. And I'm sure you have taken some nuggets and gained a lot from the things that she has shared, because it has been impactful for me, and I'm sure it has been for you as well. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and please comment down below what you've learned from today's episode, as well as any questions you may have, just anything that you'd like to share. We always love to read through that and say a thing or two. Thank you always for listening in, and I'm appreciative that you're part of the Journey to Wealth community. If you enjoyed this episode, don't stop here. Check out these 2 videos for more insights. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss an episode.